welcome to the wonderfully chaotic world of The Sims 4. In this video, I'm gonna walk new players through how to Sims. I'll show you how to play, I'll share some terms you should know, and I'll give you other useful tips so you can start simming today. And if you are a legacy Sims 4 player who showed up to this video because you love to hear me talk, why don't you help out the new players too? Post some of your best Sims 4 tips in the comments below. This video is for you if you are new to the Sims franchise or if you've played previous Sims games but you hadn't really gotten into the Sims 4. I'm hoping this video will provide you enough information so you can get started, but not so much information that you end up overwhelmed. And if you find this video helpful and if you like me giving you these tips, make sure you subscribe to my channel. Oh wait, actually, got a little ahead of myself. Hey y'all! Welcome to my channel, vstreetlove. I'm Vanessa, my pronouns are she, her, and on this channel, I like to make silly Sims videos. And today, it's Sims 4 101, baby! In this video, I'm gonna go over what is The Sims and what is the goal of the game? How do you start a new game? What do you do when you get into the game? And go over UI and all of that sort of thing when you're actually in the game. And then I'm also gonna be going over useful terms you should know related to being a simmer. I have timestamped everything that I'm going over in this video in the description box below, so feel free to jump to the part that is most interesting to you right now. So what is The Sims? I like to think of The Sims as a virtual dollhouse, basically. You have your dolls, which are Sims. You literally can build their houses. You can send them to work. You can send them to hang out with their friends at different locations. It's a whole world in and of itself. And when you play The Sims 4, you're actually just playing the version of the game on your computer. It's not one of those games that you go online and you play with your friends. But I find it really cute. If you liked playing with dolls as a kid, you're gonna love The Sims 4. Now, if you're gonna be a simmer, one thing you should know is that there is a lot of debate about which generation is the best generation of The Sims. There's The Sims 2, The Sims 3, and The Sims 4. Now, at the time of me recording this video, you can actually choose to play whatever version of The Sims that you want if you have a PC. But The Sims 4 specifically is available free to play if you have a PC or a console. You can go ahead and download it and play it now, which is, I'm hoping, how you ended up here. So The Sims 4 is free to play. All you need to do is go to the Sims 4 website. I'll have it linked in the description below. And once you get to the main landing page, you'll see that there's an option to download it. And it's available for Windows, for Mac, and for different consoles. It's also available on Steam or Epic Games if that's how you like to download and play your games. When you click download now, you'll be taken to another landing page where then you can come over here and select your platform. Here you can select how you're gonna wanna download the game, either the EA app for Windows or Mac, PlayStation, Xbox, Steam, or Epic Games. And then from there, basically just follow the instructions of how to get it to your preferred device. All right, so welcome to The Sims 4. So I've downloaded the game, I installed it, and now I've opened it, and this is the main screen. This is the home screen of The Sims 4. So I'm gonna turn my camera off. First thing is, this is the home screen. Like I said, this is basically where you will start your game. They update the way this looks every so often, so don't be alarmed. But at the time of me filming this is what the home screen looks like now. On the left side, they have like a little message for you. They have a place for you to start a new game. They also have a button here for the gallery and for you to play a scenario. On the right here are different ad blocks, basically. These are different advertising messages and different notes that the Sims team wants to share with you when you log into the game. You can scroll through them if you would like. These are just little ads or little news updates that you should be aware of. For example, the Sims team gave a free update recently to the game, and so they're trying to tell you about it. If you click on these things, sometimes it takes you places. Like right now I'm clicking on this and there's nowhere to go. But if there's a little action button here, a little call to action, like this says learn more. When you click on it, it'll ask you if you want to open up another window of your default browser. I'm gonna click now. Then up here in the top right, you've got a little cute little message with your username, and then these little three dots here just brings up the menu. This is where you can save as, you can adjust your game options, open up the lessons, do technical support, etc., etc. Game options are important for things like if you need to change the resolution, change the quality of your game, maybe change the volume and the audio, and then there's different gameplay options, etc. But the first thing I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna start a new game. So I'm gonna go ahead and click new game, and then we're gonna jump into the game as if we're starting fresh. All right, so when you start a new game in The Sims 4, it immediately takes you to the create a sim mode. And create a sim is when you literally create sims, you create the different characters that you're gonna wanna play. Now, the first thing that they'll start you off with is this story option. It says, hi, would you like to create my story? We'll start with a fun personality quiz. Afterwards, you can customize my appearance. And this is just a cute little way to like create a character if you would like. If you say okay, it'll immediately take you through a different list of questions. So it's gonna ask you how old the sim that you're making is, young adult, adult, or elder. Those are 3 of the different life stages you can make a sim. I'm just gonna pick young adult. And then you can go through these little personality quiz questions and answer them on behalf of your sim. You could also do this like if you were answering them on behalf of yourself. If you don't like a question, you can click next question and choose a different question if you would like maybe this one. How do you get your coworkers to listen to me? Excite them with grand ideas. That's cute. Okay, and then it pops up and it says, hey, nice to meet you. Feel free to assign my gender, adjust my appearance, and select my clothing. Thanks to my sim story, I already have aspirations, traits, and skills that you can update. Don't forget to give me a name. I'm gonna hit okay. And here it tells you your sim story, what their career is, skills that they have, and what their starting funds are. And then in this little section here, this is what the Sims team calls a molecule. This is where you can choose what their aspiration is and what their personality traits are, likes and dislikes, etc. But when you're making a sim, you actually don't have to choose that option if you don't want to. You don't have to go through and do a little sim story. Or when you're starting a new game, you don't have to go through the quiz at all. You can just hit no thanks, and then it'll generate a random sim, and then you have to select all of the different aspects about your sim. But let me break down this menu for you as well, since once again, I'm assuming this is the first time you're playing the game. All right, so I've turned my camera off so I can break down the different things on this menu as well. Again, we are in Create a Sim. This is where you create your sims, your characters to start the game. And when you select new game, you have to go through this menu first. If you want to start a new game and not create a sim, you can do that. But for now, I'm going to show you how to create a sim first. So in the center here, you have your sim. In the top left, you have the option to name your sim. So you can just click into this area. You can type in their first name and their last name, and you can give them different pronouns. You can also randomize these if you're not exactly sure what you want to name your sim. Then you can change other aspects about your sim's identity by clicking the identity tab. From there, you can customize your sim's gender. You can make them male, female, and then actually further customize it. You can customize their gender presentation, their sexual orientation, and their romantic boundaries. You can decide how old you want your sim to be. So there's 7 different life stages: infant, toddler, child, teen, young adult, adult, and elder. And most likely when you're starting out playing The Sims, you'll probably make your sims young adults. If you want to, you can change their walk styles. There's like fun different ways that you can make your sim walk. You can also change the way that they sound by giving them different tones in their voice. So you can just click through here and just decide how you want them to sound. Getting rid of that identity menu, you can also come through here and you can give your sims different personality traits and what their aspiration is. So the aspiration is just kind of like an overview of what you want your sims kind of like goals in life to be. You can change this when you play the game, but when you're creating a sim from scratch, selecting an aspiration also determines their bonus personality trait. So you can click on these different categories, and when you click on them, there's usually like subcategory options that you can choose from. So let's say I want my sim's aspiration to be family. When I click through here, you can choose between having a successful lineage and a big happy family. And usually when you hover over the different icons, there's different descriptions. So I'm just gonna click big happy family, and then my sim's bonus trait will be domestic. And each different aspiration has a different bonus trait attributed to it. So then you can choose up to 3 3 personality traits for your sim. When you click into pick a trait, you get a whole menu of how you want your sim to be. You can also randomize this if you're not exactly sure what you want your sim to be, and each of the different traits has its own description. When you hover over these different options, you can see here after I've clicked into this what the different descriptions for the different traits are. Also, when you hover over the different traits in the actual menu, you'll get the descriptions for what those means. And basically these traits impact how your sim interacts with the world around them. From there, you can pick your sim's preferences. You can choose their likes and their dislikes. Again, these are just ways that will impact how they interact with the world around them. I'm gonna go ahead and just randomize these so I don't have to think about it. And then here I can see, for example, my sim doesn't like mixology, but does like programming and does like writing. I think for fun, I'll just say that my sim does not like cooking. You'll see that effect once we jump into the game. Now, down in the bottom left corner, you can actually decide to add more sims. And when you do this, you have some different options. You can play with genetics. You can add a sim from the gallery, add a new sim, or add a new sim via stories. So even if you decide you do not want to go through the story option in the beginning, you can always make a sim with the story option if you change your mind. In the top right, you have the option to save your household, open the gallery, buy packs, open your notifications, and open up the menu. And then in the bottom right, you can hit cancel if you want to cancel creating the entire family, or if you want to go ahead and click play. If you end up hitting cancel, you will get a confirmation window here. It says leaving so soon, all the progress on your current household will be lost. So you can decide to go to back to the main menu, or if you want to just reset the household and start over from scratch. This does bring up a good point though, that if you're making a family and then you end up having to like leave your computer or leave your console and go somewhere, you can't save per se while you're in the create a sim menu. The way that you would do that is just by saving the household. So at this point, you would save the household. You could give the household a description. It would show you all the different sims in your family. And then you would click save to my library. And I would do that like if you're kind of like in the middle of trying to figure out what's going on and you had to leave. Another option that you can do when creating sims is go to the gallery. And they give you a few different ways to do that. The gallery, basically a place where you can go online and download the creations of other simmers. You do have to be connected to the internet in order to access what's in the gallery. I won't spend too much time on the gallery right now, but you have a lot of different options on finding what you might be looking for. You can find sims, houses, places to go, all kinds of different things on the gallery. Again, these are other users making creations and sharing them for you to download. And if you'd like, feel free to follow me and your other favorite Sims creators on the gallery. I make and share things all the time. Other Sims creators make and share things all the time. So it's just a fun other tool that you have access to if you would like. But I'm gonna exit out of that. Now, as far as editing your sim, there's some things you can do. When you click into just the empty area and hold, you can rotate your sim so you can see them in like 360 way. You can also click on the arrows to do that if you'd like. And then to actually edit the different parts of your sim, you just need to click on the body part you want to edit. So let's say I want to edit like her general head area and change her hairstyle. I just clicked on her face and then I got all of these different options that popped up on the side to change what my sim looks like. So for example, if I want to change her face, I click on the face category and then I can see all the different subcategories that fall under this. Skin tones, faces, skin details, teeth, eye details, etc. And when you click through these different sections, you can see all of the different options that you can click on to update and customize your sim. One of the things too, I'm like, okay, I want to change my sim's hair. So I just clicked on my sim's hair. It opened up the hair category for me and it showed me this is the hair that my sim currently has selected. And I can scroll through all these different options to decide maybe I want to give my sim a different hairstyle. So I'm just gonna scroll through and I think that I'm gonna give my sim this hairstyle. So I'm just gonna click on this hairstyle and it's gonna pop up on my sim. A lot of the different categories have color swatches that you can click through if you wanna see like different colors for your sim's hair. If you decide you wanna change the style, you can just click on another style and then your sim will have that hairstyle. You can give your sim different accessories, like there's different hats. You can give them piercings and jewelry. And there's also makeup if you want to give your sims customized makeup. And same thing, all these different categories, all you need to do is click into the section that you want to change for your sim. Like for example, I want my sim to have eyeliner, so I might pop on this eyeliner, and then I can click on this little window here with the different swatches and change the color. And then you can even customize the different sliders. If you decide like, maybe this is a little intense, I'm gonna change the opacity, for example. There's all kinds of different sections that you can click on and adjust. And let's say I like the way my Sims look, but I want her to have a more narrow, maybe chin. I'm just gonna click and hold and drag. And when you click and hold and drag, you are actually adjusting the way that your sim looks. You can click on their mouth, their nose. If you'd like to get more detailed, you can click on the detail edit mode. And when you click into that, it's gonna take you even more detailed, so that maybe instead of changing her whole mouth, I just wanna change her upper lip, or I just wanna change her nostrils. Maybe I wanna just bring down her bottom eyelid, right? To really customize the way that my sim looks. And then I can exit the detail mode. I'm also noticing like maybe I don't like her eyebrows. So I clicked on her eyebrow and I'm just scrolling through the different options and I'm like, actually I'm gonna swap in this eyebrow for her. And here I just wanna change the rotation. So I'm just clicking here and I'm just bringing down the rotation of her eyebrows. So it's a lot of like clicking and dragging, clicking and pulling to change the customization. Now let's say you're done with editing like the hair and you want to edit her body. I'm just gonna kind of like click her shoulder down here. It's gonna bring up like the body section of editing a sim. So when you click on the different categories, again, you can see the different subcategories that are available to you. Here, clicking on the body, you can change your sim's skin tone. You can change their body type. You can give your sim tattoos if you'd like to give your sim tattoos. You can give your sim body hair, body scars, skin details, and even different medical wearables. There's a lot of different options, so feel free to click around. Don't be afraid of making a mistake, because even if you make a mistake, there's always an option down here to undo whatever you just did. But let's say, yeah, I want to change my sim's clothing. You have the different options here for tops, for bottoms, and then a separate category for full body, like if you wanted to give your sim jumpsuit, dress, or a suit, like a full body outfit where the top and the bottom is kind of chosen for you and you're selecting the whole thing. There's also these different outfit categories, which I think these are the most important things to pay attention to when it comes to like dressing your sim. So by default, this is what your sim wears. It's in the everyday category. But then if they're going to, for example, a formal event, you would change their formal wear. So maybe by clicking on formal, I think I'm gonna change this sim to like this dress. And these are all the different swatches that are available. So maybe I'll make her wear like a black dress. Here, this is what they'll wear when they work out. This is the athletic wear. So maybe I wanna click on tops and give her like a workout t-shirt. And then if I click on bottoms, I'll give her like workout shorts, for example. And oh, I really don't like these shoes. So I'm gonna go to the shoes category and I'm just gonna give her different shoes to work out in. Maybe I'll give her these. These are kind of cute. So I clicked on the swatches and I'm gonna change it to like these black shoes, for example. This is not the best outfit, and don't take this as an example of how my Sims actually look when I make Sims, all right? This is me trying to help you out. But then you go through each of the different categories, here what they wear when they go to sleep, what they wear if they go to a different party, what they wear when they go swimming, and then when it's hot and when it's cold. Just make sure you give them different outfits. If you want help with this and you're like, oh, I'm not exactly sure what I should have them wear, you also have this option to do styled looks, which is this category here. These are the looks that the Sims team puts together whenever they release like new content for us. And these are like customized outfits basically. So you go through here and they've decided the makeup and the clothes that the Sim would wear. So if I just click through here, for example, I think this is really cute and there's different color options for this. So maybe I'll go with this green one because this green one's really fun. And she looks like cute and cozy. And then I would just do that if I go through each category and I don't really want to think about how I want my Sim to look. I'll just go through, I just clicked on this and it gave her the full styled look, including the jewelry, the makeup, the shoes, and the clothing. And I could go through that for each one. And maybe like for this one, for example, I like this, but I want to see the other colors of this item. I'm going to click on this item and then come down here and look at the swatches, for example. So you've got a lot that you can do. And like I said, I'm not trying to overwhelm you. I just want to make sure that my Sim has all the outfits that she needs to have, which it looks like she does for the most part, so we're good. Now, let's say you want to add another Sim. You can add a new Sim. you can add a sim from the gallery, like I said before. I'm gonna play with genetics, so I'm gonna click on this play with genetics button. And when I do that, I can decide, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna make this sim's child. So I'm gonna make her male child, I'm gonna make her a son, and then you can just randomize the child if you'd like. So I think this kid is cute, so I'm gonna go ahead and click done, and it's added this sim to my family. Now the limit of sims that you can make is 8, so you can't have any more than 8 sims in your household. I'm gonna come up here, I'm gonna randomize a trait. I'm gonna pick a random aspiration, because these are the things you have to pick before you move on. And then we're gonna randomize the sim's name. Okay, Anton, or Anton. Actually, I don't like that. Octavio, what's going on? Okay, we'll just be Ken. And I'm gonna edit the relationship here. You can click on different relationships for how each of the sims in the same household relate to each other. But I wanted to make sure that that other sim was set to be his mom. So I think everything is good there. I'm gonna click on his clothes just to make sure. I'm not like a super fan of his hair, but I'm not gonna worry about it. Just clicking through this to see how this kid looks. It's not the worst I've seen. Sometimes when the game randomizes outfits, it's not the greatest situation. But I think that this is this is fine. Maybe I'll go to style looks for this kid too, because I'm like, I don't know about this actually. And just clicking through these different options. I'll go with this last one. This one's kind of fun. Once you've gone through and you've made all the different members of your family, you can go ahead and hit play down in the bottom right. And once you do, this is kind of like their family portrait that will show whenever you want to jump back into this household. You can randomize this photo if you'd like by clicking this little button here. It's really cute. And then once you're done, you can hit save and play. Now at this point, the game is asking you, where do you want your Sims to live? You're choosing between the different residential worlds. So when you hover over the world, again, it gives you a description of what the world is like. And then when you click into the world, it shows you the entire map of all the different places where your sim can live. At this point, looking at the screen, what I can see is that the household that I just made has a total of $22,000 or 22,000 simoleons that I can spend to move them into the neighborhood. When I hover over a different place for them to live, which is outlined in green, you can see that they can actually afford to move into these places. So here you can see that this house is a 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom house for $15,000. This house, however, is 2 bedrooms and 1 bathroom, which might be a better fit for them if you want them to have 2 bedrooms. You can also move them into a lot that doesn't have a house at all if you want to like make the house yourself. But I feel like just getting started, you might want to just move them into a house. So I'm going to go ahead and move them into the Crick Cabana. Now, I just want to point out before I move them in that looking at the screen, there's a lot of different icons and it can be overwhelming if you're brand new to the game. Basically, at this point, you've made a family. They have $22,000. You're selecting a place for them to live. The places that they can afford to live are highlighted. They have this little green outline, and that's all you really need to know. The rest of these little icons are showing you like what type of other places are in the world. If you decide you actually don't want to move them back in this world, you can go back to select the world, and then you can pick a different world, like Oasis Springs. If you click into here, and when you jump in here, you see it's the same thing. The places that they can afford to live are highlighted in green. When you hover over the house, you can see how many bedrooms and how many bathrooms are in the house. And I think that of these ones that are available, I'm gonna go ahead and go back to Willow Creek, and I'm gonna move my Sims into the Crick Cabana. So I clicked on the house and I'm gonna hit confirm. And then it says that the Bennett household is moving in. Remaining funds, it's letting me know there's 8,000 simoleons left. I can move them in with all of the furniture that's in the house already. That's what furnished means. And I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Okay, great. So at this point, you have downloaded The Sims 4. You've installed it to your computer. You have started a new game or a new save file and created your first family. And you move that family into the household. So now let me show you the next part of playing the game. In general, there is an understanding of time in The Sims 4. As you can see, it is Sunday at 8:01 a.m. You can pause the game, you can play at normal speed, you can fast forward, or you can do it ultra speed, but you can't go back in time with playing The Sims. You can only go forward in time. So again, in the spirit of giving you enough information to get started, but not so much information that you're overwhelmed, let me show you what you're looking at this point. We've moved this family in. You have my Sim Maureen here that I made in Create a Sim. You just saw me make her. And you see this little floating icon above her head. This is a little plumb bob. And if I zoom in here and scroll around, it's basically an indication of this is the sim that I'm currently playing, that I currently have selected. This is the other sim that I made, her son. You can click on him down here in this tray area. Ken is what his name is, to now control him. And you see that the plumb bob has moved to him. So that's how you go back and forth between which sims you want to control. Now, coming back to Maureen here. So we've got our sim and what their current mood is. Currently, she's feeling fine. This is how much money we have in our household funds. And then these other icons show their notebook, their phone, and the calendar. So when you click on the notebook, right now there's no entries, but basically when you hit different achievements or you learn different things in the game, it'll pop up in your notebook. I'm gonna exit out on that. Next is the phone. The phone is where there's a lot of different interactions that you can do in order to play the game. So if you wanna find your Sims a job, if you wanna have your Sims call up a friend, if you wanna have your Sims travel to go to a different place, all of these different things can be done from the phone. You can also customize the way your phone looks here. Lastly, there's the calendar. And the calendar is where you can see like different events that go on in your Sim's life. For example, we can see not this Friday, but the following Friday is the birthday of our Sim. This is when our Sim will age up into a teenager. And then the Sim that I'm playing right now, Maureen, this is when she'll age up into an adult because she's currently a young adult. You can also add events from the calendar here. So if you want to throw different parties or do different things, you can click add an event. And you can do that on these different days. So like if I wanted, today is Sunday and I wanted to throw an event on Friday, I can just click on Friday and you can see here, like my Sim is supposed to be at school from 8 to 3. But if I click on add an event for Friday, I can do a little house party, birthday party, etc. And I'll just exit out of here. Down here, I already showed you, these are all the different Sims in our household. They would show up down here in this bottom tray. You can click on them to control them. In the center area, you can see about all the different time controls. Like I said, right now I've paused my game. So it's been Sunday at 8:01 a.m. this whole time. In the bottom right is where we have other information about our Sim. So this is where you can see their aspiration. Remember, we selected that in Create a Sim. And when you click on this, you can see the different tasks that you can do for different reward points. So it's a way for you to kind of like give yourself a direction of what you want to do while you're playing the game. So for example, my Sim wants to spend 1,000 simoleons on kid stuff. So when I hover over this little to-do, it'll tell me how I can achieve this goal. Next here is like the career panel. Maureen doesn't have a job right now, so I could click on this to help her find a job. After that are my skills. Maureen doesn't have any skills, but some skill examples include cooking skill. The more cooking skill that Maureen would have, the better of a cook she would be. These are the relationships. Relationship panel are all of the Sims that my Sim knows. Right now, she only knows her son. Inventory are all of the things that she has basically on her in her inventory. So when you find different things in the game, it'll just show up here in the inventory and you can choose what to do with them. Simology is all of her personality traits and other things about the Sim that we selected in Create a Sim and other things that will change once we learn them in gameplay. And then lastly, her needs. You definitely want to be managing your Sim's needs when they need to use the bathroom, how much fun they have. When you hover over the different needs, you can see a description for them so you can see how to meet that need. And then in the top right, we have all of the other different options. So I'm actually going to start from the inside and go out. Inside here, you get the options menu again. So here you can go back to the options like I showed you before. The notification wall. So anytime there's any in-game notifications, they'll pop up here in notifications. The camera controls. Now, I will say I have my camera set to the Sims 3 camera. That is one hot tip for you. If you are a new Sims player, go to the camera controls and select Sims 3 camera. I think by default, the camera is the Sims 4 camera, and rotating is really hard. Like I think when the more you zoom in, it zooms in, but then if you zoom out, like it's kind of hard to figure out what you want to do. Now I'm using the arrow keys on my keyboard to like move around, and also WASD you can use to move around. But the biggest thing I would say is change the camera mode to Sims 3 camera. Okay, in doing that, I've got some notifications. So I think I accidentally unpaused my game. So you can see there's some other things that have popped up. So I'll tell you that. First and foremost, these are the notifications. They show up in these blue boxes and they're giving you different information. So it's telling me that I've started a discovery quest, and the discovery quests are basically tutorial tips for you if you're a new player. And that's the perfect thing. I feel like if you're just getting started with the game already has different ways to try to like guide you through how to play and what to do. So make sure when you jump in, go ahead and try those different things. It also has like little lessons, so you can click on this and it'll pop up and show you different ways you can do different things. But again, sometimes this is really overwhelming, and this is why I'm making this video right now. So you get the gist. You get the gist of what's going on without being overwhelmed. So I'm going to close out of this. I'm going to close out of this notification. But if I want to go back and read what that notification was, that's where you go into the notification wall and it shows me all the notifications that I've passed. And once it gets full or you don't want all these here anymore, you can either exit out on them or you can delete them all with the little trash bin here. So we talked about the camera controls. Like I said, change this to the Sims 3 camera. Trust me, your life will be so much easier. And then this other button here is center on current lot. So when you click on this, that basically brings you to the center of where you're at. Sometimes if you have your Sims like all the way away from where you're actually loaded into, you can get a little bit lost. So if you want to figure out, okay, where did I load into originally? You can click on center to current lot. So here you can change the view of the walls. So you can change the walls of wherever you're at as far as the building of the lots that you're loaded into so that they are walls up. And you have to kind of like rotate around to like view and see, but you can kind of get the more of an effect of what the house is like. You can go change it to walls down where none of the walls are up and you can totally see through the different lots that you're at. And then you can kind of have like a mix of both, which is the cutaway view, where basically only the walls and the perimeter you'll be able to see. This button here is going up and down a floor. So if you're building that you're loaded into has a second floor, you can just press this up arrow here. Now, when you hover over all of these different icons, you can see that there's different shortcuts that you can use if you like doing shortcuts, like computer shortcuts. I'm going to go back down to this main floor. Now, here are packs that you might like. When you click on this shopping cart icon, it'll take you to a menu where you can purchase additional DLC or downloadable content. Those are the different experiences that you can buy to expand your game and your gameplay. I won't get into that right now. I'll do that later. Here, again, you can open up the gallery. This is where I showed you earlier, where you can download other Sims or download other buildings, houses, etc. This button is to manage world. So if you wanted to leave this household and go play another household or go and edit the world, you would click manage worlds. And then this is build mode, which I will come back to in a second. This menu here that we're seeing is basically my Sim is about to start talking to her son. So you can see at a glance like what the relationship is like and how their conversation is going. And then in the top left here are the discovery quests. These are the tutorial activities that you can do in order to figure out what's going on in The Sims 4, basically, when I'm not around. Now, for my sake, I'm going to get rid of this by deleting this. You don't do that, though. Don't do that. I'm going to do it because I already know what's going on and I'm making this video for you and this is killing my vibe. All right. I'm going to go ahead and press play. So when I hit play, you can see my Sims are kind of like already starting to talk to each other. And when I come down here, you can see that this is their action queue. These are all the different things that they'll be doing. So right now they're chatting, but at me playing as Maureen, I can click on her son. I'm going to pause the game real quickly. And then you can see all the different options that we can do when talking to our son. So some of these things are really funny. I guess I didn't realize I made my Sim mean. That's what this little icon is. If I go back down to her Simology panel, because I did randomize her traits. So yeah, my girl is mean here. So if there's specific interactions that you can do based on their personality, you'll see the little icon next to the action. I'm sorry, I'm just laughing because I'm like, why did I make this girl? I was not paying attention for real. Anyway, so she can mock her son's outfit, which is crazy work. I'm going to get rid of this panel by clicking on it again so it's out of my way. But now you see that their interaction isn't very nice. Anyway, so that's another thing. If you want your Sims to do different things, you just have to click on the different objects or click on the other Sims and then tell them what to do. That's the gist of playing The Sims, right? Clicking on it, tell them what to do. So I want my Sim to come over here and I want her to cook. We've got a kitchen over here. I'm going to click on the stove and I'm going to click cook. And then once I click cook, I get a whole different menu of things that she can make. Now, she only has a level 1 cooking skill. So these are all the things that she can make at level 1. So I'm going to have her come over here and make eggs and toast. And then I'm going to have her make a party size, which is 8 servings. And then I'm going to hit play. So what I just did there too, because I was over here, I did right click on my sim and it had me jump over to my sim. And to rotate and everything with the Sims 3 camera, you can do that by pressing the comma key, the period key to rotate. You can hold down the scroll on your mouse. And if you hold that down, you can rotate any different way that you want. And there are shortcuts for all these different things. Feel free to Google them if you're on console. I don't know them on console. I am currently playing on my Mac. So things get a little bit strange. But in general, this is how I like to play. Oh, and we got another notification. So it says my sim has acquired the cooking skill. It says she's new in cooking, and the higher the skill level, the more recipes will be unlocked. So I'm going to go ahead and exit out on that. And again, if I want to see that notification, maybe I didn't get a chance to read it all the way through, I'm just going to click on the notification section, and it's still there. And I'll click on that again to get rid of it. So right now, my sim is feeling now tense. If you remember, it's because I said she don't like cooking. So here, she's tense from disliking cooking. I hate cooking. Maureen can't stand this. When will the torment end? That's actually really funny. So I hit play again. This is her cooking, not very well. And then as far as her son's concerned, I'm just gonna click on her son. And I'm gonna double click on him to center to see like, where are you? What are you doing? It says, try to calm down. Aggravating conversation. Oh, right, because she did insult his outfit earlier. Yeah. So going back to Maureen, now she's feeling happy. Oh, well, she was feeling happy for a second. Oh, there it is. Feeling happy. Joyful mean-spiritedness. That's really funny. Okay, so now I'm like, okay, girl, eat. She's about to talk to her son, but I can click on this and I can tell her to grab a serving. I can also tell her to call the meal, which would be kind of like, hey, come over here and eat. But there's all different things you can do. Like, so I just had my sim cook. If I want my sim to sleep, I could click on the bed and send my sim to sleep. If I need my sim to use the bathroom, you click on the toilet and send them to the bathroom. And again, this is kind of like going back to their needs. Like, what are their needs? Right now, my sim is feeling pretty good. And if I click on my other sim, he's feeling pretty good. But I can see here that his fun is a little low. So one of the things you can do to increase fun is you can have them watch TV, or going back to the phone that I showed you earlier, I'm going to click on the phone, click on entertainment, and I'm going to have him browse kid-friendly websites. Okay, so while he's doing that, I think for Maureen, I'm going to have her get a job. So right now she's going to browse books. I'm going to right click on her, and that's going to lock the camera to follow her while she's moving around. Oh, we actually have a welcome wagon. So every time you move a sim into a household, you get this welcome wagon. And it's very cute the first time you play, but every single time that you move in a family, you get a welcome wagon. And the welcome wagon are basically neighbors who show up to your house to greet you. So I'm gonna hit play, and you can see they're loading in here. So this one is out here. This is Travis. I'm gonna invite my neighbors in. So I clicked on him, I'm gonna invite him in. This is the gist of playing the Sims. You make your little Sims, you move them in, and then you play with their little lives. And this is just cute because, yeah, now that I've invited him in, he's going to come in and now he'll interact with my son. Oh, because I've said hi to my neighbors and welcome the welcome wagon, now it seems like my sim is about to talk to, who is she about to talk to? These two Sims here. She's going to come over here. Oh, I'm hovering over the sim right now. She's talking to Vivian and Alexander. Okay, this is cute. Actually, I think it would be cute for my son to come and meet this child out here instead of staying inside and talking to this grown man. So I had my sim selected down here. So I'm going to click on this child down here. And I'm going to say, oh, friendly introduction. Where are you going? Are you going inside to meet me? I'm just kind of following him. Oh, you know what? This is taking too long. So I'm going to go ahead and fast forward. So I'm speeding this up. So now when I fast forward, the Sims are going twice as fast as they normally do. And they're just kind of speeding through things a little bit more. But if I think it's going too fast, I'll go back down to normal speed. All right. So what I was going to have Maureen do before is find a job. So I'm going to come back down here to career. And I'm going to have her click join a career. When she does that, she'll pull out her little phone. And then from here, there's all these different options of what your Sims can do for a career. And again, the part of the reason why you want to send your Sims to work is so they earn money, because yeah, your Sims will get bills. Your Sims want to buy things. Your Sims want to go out and spend money doing different things. they're gonna need a way to make money. I'm gonna make my sim a writer. I think that could be good. This one looks like she'll make $25 an hour. She works 11 to 7. And then you can see these are the days that she works. She doesn't work on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, it looks like. And I'll hit accept. And now it says, oh, my sim's entered the writer career. So then again, in this panel now, instead of finding a career, it shows me all the details about her career. I'm gonna X out on this notification. And again, like at this point, it's just kind of like doing whatever you want to do in your game. You can decide to go about and like have your sims make as many friends as you want. Have your sims make enemies. Have your sims find somebody to love and then make more babies if you want them to. There's a lot of different fun things that you can do in the game. Now at this point, I think I'm ready for this event to end. So this section up here is where event information is. And so for example, right now we're having a welcome wagon, which is just kind of like an activity where sims kind of show up and they're welcoming you to the neighborhood. It's your opportunity to have new sims meet sims. But for me personally, I'm done with this. So I'm gonna hit exit out of this. And it says ending early. Everyone seems to be having a good time. You didn't want the social event to end too soon, did you? I do. Y'all need to leave. And now they'll be leaving, I think. I don't know. I might have to tell them to leave. Oh, we lost some relationship. Now that little icon that floated above their head, it was like a little person with minus signs. That's them losing relationship value. If I go to the relationships panel, you can see that it's in the red, which means that that's not good. Green is good, red is bad. Anyway, the only reason why I wanted to do that is so I could show you build mode. So when I click on this, build mode is when you go into being able to edit the building. You can edit the house, you can edit a community lot when you're having your sims visiting other places to go. And build mode is where you can buy items and you can edit rooms. So it starts off by showing off the different objects by room. So if you want to get things for the kitchen, bathroom, bedroom, living room, dining room, study, kids room, or outdoors. So for example, let's say I want to add a mirror to this bedroom. I'll go to the bedroom section, and then here you can see there's a little mirrors icon, so I can click on that. And then these are all the different mirrors that are available. So these are all the different things that I can purchase. I want to purchase like a standing mirror. So I'm going to click on this one. You can see it's $100. Clicking on it, I can place it down here, or I can change what color I want it to be. So let's say I actually want it to be like this light blue color, and I'm gonna place it down. These little grid tiles are like basically where you can align things to go, and then you can place it down. Now, when you're in build mode, these are the different ways that you can find objects that you want to purchase. You can do it, like I said, by rooms. You can also sort by functions. Now, when you click objects by function, you have this little drop down menu here where you can sort the different objects by what type of object they are. So mirrors would be found under decorations. And then you can hover over these different icons to figure out like what kind of decoration it is. There is a mirrors category, so you would just click on mirrors. You can also search for an object if you would like if you need to find a mirror, you can type in mirror and it'll bring up items with the exact word in its item name or the categories here. So again, clicking on mirrors would bring you to mirrors, but I'm also kind of like, I need a light in here. I think it's kind of dark. So I'm going to click on this drop down again, and then I'm going to go to the lighting category, and I'm going to find a table lamp. I'll scroll through this table lamps options, and I think I want to use this one here. It's kind of expensive. It's like the most expensive lamp. But when I click on it, I can click on it. I can click on these swatches again to change the color, and then I can place it down. So it's a table lamp. I can put it on the floor. I'm going to put it on top of this little object here, and I think that'll make it brighter, and I'll hit cancel to get rid of that. Okay, cool. So looking at the menu here, these are the different objects you can buy. There's also this household inventory. So if you decide you want to get rid of something, but you don't want to actually permanently get rid of it, you can place it in your household inventory. And when you do that, it'll show up in the household inventory section. And these are things that maybe you don't want to have out, but you don't want to completely get rid of. I'm going to put this back. There's also build mode. So build mode is where you can find things like doors, windows, wallpapers, and flooring. You can also find other categories here. You just would click on the different icons to find what you're looking for. In the top left area, you can see the information about the current lot that you're on. This is the venue information. So we know that we're in a residential lot. We know how much it's worth, how many bedrooms and bathrooms. This is where you can edit how many bedrooms or bathrooms are on this lot, and it will pop up in the main menu that we saw earlier. You can also give your lot traits. So these are special effects that when your sim is visiting the lot, how it will impact them while they're there. You can change the name of the lot. So remember when I said I was moving my sim into the Cricket Cabana, we can change the name of it here. Then we have our tools while we're in build mode. So right now I'm using the select tool so I can select different items and move them around. There's the eyedropper tool that allows you to copy an object if you want to get the exact same object, or copy like the floor if you want to use the exact same flooring that you're using in one place in another place. You can eyedropper most things in build mode. Then there's the design tool, which allows you to change an object's color. So when you click on that, if you place an object, but you've actually decided you want a different swatch or a different color, you can use the design tool to click on the object and change the color. So maybe instead I want it to be yellow. And for example, I don't think that the bed is pretty. So I'll click on this one and I'll change it to this like green, for example. There's the sledgehammer tool, which allows you to remove an object. So when it's highlighted in yellow, you can remove it. You can also click and drag to remove multiple things at once. And let's say you did that by accident. There's also the undo button, which you can click undo to undo anything that you did. And then if you actually want to keep the thing that you did, you can redo the action, but I would like to undo that. You can save the lot to your library, much like saving the household when we were looking at Create a Sim earlier. So saving a lot to your library just allows you to just save a copy of everything that's here if you want to place it somewhere else or place it again later in another save file. There's the move house option if you need to move this position of your house. Let's say you need to nudge it forward or backward or rotate it on the lot. You can also move the entire lot, everything that's in the boundaries of your lot. You can kind of like rearrange where you want things to go. I'm just gonna hit escape because I don't want to do anything there. And then you can bulldoze the entire lot, get rid of everything here. When you click on this, you can decide if you want to bulldoze the lot or bulldoze the terrain, which is like the painting and stuff. If you hit bulldoze lot, it will confirm, do you really want to do this? Because there's no undoing this. And I'm going to say, no, I do not actually want to do that. And then while you're building, maybe you're like, I actually want to see what this place looks like when it's night. You can click on the time of day button here and it'll change what things look like just in build mode. Because when you go back to live mode, you're going to jump right back to where you were, which is we were at Sunday at 1:13 p.m. Okay, so that's everything related to build mode. That's like a high level overview. If you decide you want to change the color of the chairs, you want to buy new chairs, you want to add more rooms to the house, you can do that by going to build mode. Once you click through build mode, you can make all the different changes that you want to make. Let's say I want to give us a little accent chair here. I'm going to go to objects by room. It's kind of like easier to sort through. Click on the living room, click on a little living chair, and then I'll just pick like a matching little chair and I'll place this here. Now, when you're in build mode, for example, you can change the appearance of everything. Like if you don't want to see these lines, all you have to do is type G on your keyboard. There's probably a shortcut for console. I do not know it, but Google it to turn off the grid. But if you want to see the grid again, you can turn it back on by pressing G. If you want to place objects like not specifically on the little grid tiles, you can do that by holding down Alt. And Alt allows you to kind of free place. I'm going to let go of Alt right now and it goes back to sticking to the grid. And if you've picked something up by accident and you don't want to keep it and you want to put it back to where it was, hit escape on your keyboard and it'll put it right back where it was. I'm going to jump back into live mode now. And again, we're jumping right back to where we were at Sunday. It's picking up right at the same time. And now this chair is in my game in live mode and my Sims can interact with it. So I can have my Sims sit and chat here. This is another discovery quest that's popped up for you. The discovery quests are literally different tutorial things that the game's gonna pop up for you. If it's noticing that you're a new player, you've never done this before, this is for you. Go ahead and navigate the discovery quest so you know what's going on. Me, I know what's going on. So I'm going to just ignore this whole situation and I'm going to click on manage worlds. So when you click on this, it's going to ask you if you want to save and go to manage worlds or just go to manage worlds. I'll go ahead and save. At this point, I haven't really saved any of my gameplay. I think when I exited Create a Sim, it saved my family, but we're going to go ahead and save. So now I am no longer in this household and I'm just in the general world. Now, let me give you the high level overview of managing worlds and what you can do when you're in this mode. Like I said, I am no longer playing with this family at this point. They do have a little green plumb bob to let me know that I have played with this family before, but there's other families that I have not played with that have a little grayed out plumb bob icon. So I can hover above the household and I can see who lives in that household, what little traits that the lot has, and then I can choose to play the household. I can also decide down here, these are all the different Sims that live in that household. So I can decide to play one of the specific Sims. So as you can see here, this Travis Scott who lives in this household, he's a little grayed out and it lets me know that Travis Scott is at a place called Crick Cabana. Well, if you remember, Travis was at our house that we were just at. So I can choose to play him, but when I click on him and play him, I'm not going to be loaded into the same place as whoever's in this household. Because the only one who's not grayed out is Summer, it looks like. So if I were to just click on this household and hit play, I think it would have me play as Summer. You can also build lots from scratch. So you can click into these outlines that have nothing and you can click on builds. And when you click build, it'll bring you straight to the lot where you are just in build mode. There's no Sims that you're playing with and you can build a house from scratch. I'm gonna go back to manage worlds and continue to show you around this menu. So here you're seeing all these different houses and buildings. The outline around the different houses and buildings, those are called lot boundaries. So these are the different lots that are available for you to jump into and edit and play. The lots with the gray plumb bobs have Sims in them that you can play. So we have the BFF household, the Pancakes household, the Goth household, and the Spencer Kim Lewis household. But there's also places where people don't live and you can just visit. So there's the Magnolia Blossom lot, and that you can see it's a park. There's the Willow Creek Archive, which is a library. And the different icons above it kind of give you an indication of what it is. So this has a little dumbbell, movers and shakers. It's a gym. And then I can go back to the other worlds that I didn't select earlier. So I can come back in here and I can choose the other worlds. Now, I don't know about for you. I have all the packs. I tried to uninstall them for this video. Clearly, The Sims does not want to work with me. So I don't know if it shows you all the different options. If you don't have them, earlier when I was moving the Sim in, it just had the option for the 3 worlds. If you have more packs, you get more worlds. So I'm going to click on Oasis Springs and you can, same thing. You can jump in here. You can see the little plumb bob icons for where other Sims live. Now, I'm going to go back into our household just so I can show you something really quickly. So this is the household that I was playing earlier, the Bennett family. Like I said, I could jump into any other household and play with any other Sims if I want to that have already been made. And I'm going to go ahead and hit play. Okay, so after the little song that it plays, it brings me right back to where I was with my Sims before and whatever they were in the middle of about to be doing. I just wanted to show you really quickly that you don't have to keep them here at this lot. You can have them go different places in the world. Like I can kind of look around and see what else is going on, what else there is to interact with. This is another lot that is in the neighborhood. I could have them visit this lot. So right now even though I can see it, I can't really interact with it unless I click on it and say, visit this lot. And when I click visit, it's going to say, who else do you want to bring with you on this? I guess I'll bring my kid and I'll hit okay. I right click to get back to the Sim and then there's a loading screen. So every time you travel to different places, there will be a loading screen. But now we are at this household. So because we're visiting someone else's house, we got to knock on the door and let them know we're here. So I'm going to click on the door. I'm going to knock on the front door. So my Sim is walking over to this front door and it's like, hi, we're here. We don't even know them. But that's okay. We can just come into people's houses that we don't know. As long as someone's there, we can come in. And so let's come in. Let's give a friendly introduction to this Sim. And like, yeah, this is their house. These are all the different things that they've got going on. You can get ideas for like decorating and stuff. But I did notice they have a pool. So I think I'm going to have the kid come over here and play in their pool. So I'm gonna click on the pool and then I'm just gonna say swim laps. And which way is he going? Oh, there's a little gate right here. He's really sad. Hopefully swimming around in the pool helps him out. Going back to my sim here, she's talking to this sim still, the sim Summer. Oh, right, they have a negative relationship. Well, okay. Oh, you know what it is? I forgot again that this sim is mean. This sim is mean, so every time she meets somebody, they're not really liking her because she's not nice. All right, anyway. So now we visited another Sim's house. If we want to go back to our house, down here on our Sims, you can see this little icon here that looks like a little house. We can click on it and tell them to go home. We can also use our phone, and then once we click on the phone, we can click travel. And once we click travel, we can click again. I do want to bring our son, and then I can hit OK. So again, she will bring up her phone, and it's gonna load up the screen. So when I hit travel this way, it loads up the entire world of where I wanna go, of where we can go. So we can go back home. I know that this is our house down here, but we can also go back and go to a different world if we want. So if we go to another world, we can decide where we wanna go. So there is a big park right here, this Desert Bloom Park. So let's go to this park. And so I clicked on the park and I'm gonna hit confirm. Okay, and now we've loaded into this park. My sim here is still in his little swimsuit, but it looks like he's thinking about this little icon here. The icon is actually this little playground equipment. So he's actually coming over here. He's going to play with the playground equipment. Play Space Explorer. Cool. I'm going to click on his mom and I'm going to click on this and I can click and play as a space monster. Oh, this is cute. So now he's out here playing on the little jungle gym thing. Oh, my sim was not able to play as a space monster because he's not playing on it anymore. Whatever. Okay, they're going through and they're having a negative interaction. That's yeah. But look, there's other things that my sims can do while they're at this park. You can click on the grill. We can grill things. There's a little pond over here. We can click on this pond. We can go fishing. So yeah, so I can direct my sims to do all kinds of different things, interact with other sims, hang out with each other. But maybe I just want to go home now. So I'm going to go back to the phone. We're going to travel. And I'm going to click on travel. I'm going to bring my son with me. He's selected, so he's going to come with me. And this little icon is letting me know this is where my sim currently is. But I'm going to take her back home. So I'm going to go back to selecting the world, going back to where I know their house is. And then we're just going to click on our house and we're going to go back home. And now we're back home. Like nothing ever happened. What are our needs like? Are we still okay? We're still pretty much okay. I'll have my sims maybe watch TV together. I'll have this sim watch TV. Oh, this sim, okay, I can see he's kind of hungry. He actually went ahead and he grabbed some food. He also needs to use the bathroom, but maybe while he's eating, I'm going to have him watch the current channel. So I clicked on the TV and he's watching the current channel. Anyway, this is the gist of The Sims. You make your characters, you move them into a house, and then you play their lives. That's basically it. The last little thing I want to point out while I'm here in live mode is one of the fundamental parts about playing The Sims is cheats. There is a whole world of things that you can cheat in The Sims 4 that adds to some of the fun of playing the game, including, but not limited to, cheating your money. So I did make my sim get a career, and that's just part of like how I like to play. But if you just want to bring your Sims in and have them interact with each other and not have to worry about money, you can totally cheat their money. So right now they have 8,000 simoleons. I'm going to open up the cheat window by hitting Control-Shift-C on my keyboard. That brings up this little white box here, ready for me to enter a command. And if I want to cheat them $1,000, I can type in ka-ching. And when I hit enter, it gives them $1,000. I can also type in rosebud and hit enter, and that gives them another $1,000. Or I can type in motherload and hit enter, and that gives them $50,000. But let's say you don't want them to have any money because you want to challenge yourself and say, what would it be like to play without any money and having to have them figure it out for themselves? Well, you can cheat that away too. So first you would type in testing cheats space on, hit enter, and then it says cheats are enabled. I'm just going to type in money space and 0. And when I hit enter, it gets rid of all their money and now they have nothing. And if you want to get rid of this cheats box, you hit escape. There's so many different cheats available for this game that do so many different things. You can totally Google to look up all the different cheats that you can use for the game, depending on what you're trying to do. I do have a little downloadable if you're interested that has some different cheats and some different keyboard shortcuts. If you're interested, just check the description box below. The Sims 4 base game is free to play, but I like to joke that it's not free to enjoy. You can do a lot of different things with the Sims 4 base game. You can make different Sims, you can have them interact with each other, you can have them go and visit different places and do different things. But if you find that you feel like the fashions are limited, the gameplay is limited, you want your Sims to be able to look different or do different things, that is where downloadable content comes in. There is paid downloadable content, and then there is free downloadable content. I'll start with the paid downloadable content. The Sims sells so much content for you to be able to enjoy. I'll start with the smallest and then go to the largest. So the smallest thing that The Sims 4 sells is kits. They describe kits as mini collections of content made to boost your playstyle with more choices and more ways for you to play with life. Kits are the lowest price thing that you can buy where you basically get more items in your game, more clothing items or more objects in your game. And that's basically it. Each kit has like a very specific theme or idea around it to enhance the way your game looks, essentially. Next, you have stuff packs. They describe stuff packs as smaller packs that add more to your Sims' lives with fun objects and fashion. So stuff packs usually give you items, clothing, and a small gameplay mechanic that you might want to play with to enhance what your Sims do. So for example, one good example of like a little stuff pack that I enjoy is the Home Chef Hustle stuff pack. This Home Chef Hustle stuff pack brought us new appliances, small appliance options, where like we have a little waffle maker, a little stand mixer, and also gave us a new item where we can like sell our food in the community at a food stand. So it's really cute, and some other clothing options and stuff like that. They have something called game packs, which are medium-sized packs that add new experiences to play in new thematic ways. And game packs, a lot of them revolve around like a cult. So if you want to play with werewolves or with vampires, you can add that to your game. If you want to have restaurants, there's a dine out game pack. If you want to have more interesting weddings, interesting being the keyword there, you can get the My Wedding Stories pack. And then lastly, there's expansion packs. And expansion packs are large packs that expand your game and take your Sims on new adventures. So these are the most expensive thing that The Sims 4 sells at this point. But the idea here is that you're getting the most bang for your buck. You're getting new objects, new clothing, and a lot of new gameplay and new gameplay mechanics. That is the idea with expansion packs. So one theme for expansion packs is one of the more popular expansion packs is cottage living, where it introduces different little animals and more gameplay mechanics around like farming and gardening in The Sims 4. And you get a bunch of new objects and a bunch of new clothing items. There's also bundles, like if you want to buy multiple packs at once that are around kind of like similar themes, The Sims 4 can sell you bundles. Now I'm starting with the paid DLC first because obviously, plug, I am in the EA Creator Network. I am a Simfluencer, if you will. So if you are interested in purchasing any packs through the EA app or through the Sims 4 website, you can use my affiliate code vstreetlove when you check out. It is not a discount, but it is a way to support me as a creator since I will get a 5% commission on the sale. That's 5 cents on every dollar. So if you have enjoyed this video, if you found this video helpful and you are planning to purchase packs, purchase more ways to play in The Sims, then you can use my creator code. And I appreciate you. Now, here's the thing. You don't need to buy anything with The Sims, right? There's also non-paid or free downloadable content. That's where mods and custom content comes in. People in the community code to customize the Sims game. Now, there are paid mods and paid custom content to support the creators who make these items. But by and large, a lot of what people make is eventually available for free. For example, there's a really popular site called the Sims Resource where you can download custom content, custom hairs, custom makeup, custom objects, and then you can upload them into your game. I don't endorse the Sims resource. I just know that this is one of the websites that people go to get custom content. You can also go to places like Pinterest or Google and type in custom content if you want. Again, I am not trying to overwhelm you with information. I've already gone over the gist of everything that you need to know to get started simming. But if you have more questions, please leave them in the comments below. If there's enough interest around this video and around this concept, I'm happy to do a part 2 to support people jumping into The Sims 4 and getting started playing today. The Sims is literally whatever you want it to be. You get to make Sims and what they look like. You get to make their homes, where they live, and you get to make where they go and what they do. You can come up with all kinds of different storylines of what you want to play out when you're playing the game as well. And you're gonna want to be subscribed to my channel for that, because I do have a video coming out very soon about different storylines that you can play in The Sims 4 when you're looking for some interesting things to do. So let me know in the comments what other questions you have, maybe some other answers I can give you if you're curious about different things about The Sims. And let me know what's some of the things that you've been getting into now that you're playing The Sims. Did you find this video helpful? If you did, please subscribe to my channel, like and share this video, and turn on the post notifications so you know when my next video goes up. Well, that's it, y'all. That's all you really need to know to get started simming. But don't worry, there's more fun to be had on my channel. Check out the other videos on my channel here. And until next time, y'all, dag dag!